Cole Hauser's been around Hollywood for years, but let's be honest, nothing hit like Rip Wheeler. Yellowstone made him a household name, and now, just as the show wrapped up, Hauser drops a bombshell about what's next. And nobody saw this coming. The return of the Rip Wheeler. Let's be real, all of us are going to miss Rip. He's one of those characters that just sticks with you, and Hauser plays him with so much grit and heart. It's hard to imagine the show without him. Sure, a lot of characters have come and gone, but Rip's exit? That one hits deep. Now, yeah, this is starting off a little emotional. Most of us are already mourning Rip like he's real. But while Yellowstone might be ending, Rip Wheeler is not done with us just yet. In a recent interview, Cole Hauser actually confirmed that one of the spin-offs planned after Yellowstone wraps will center around Rip. He said he's focused on finishing Yellowstone the right way first, but hinted that Taylor Sheridan's got plans on the horizon, not just for him, but also for Kelly Riley and a few others. He didn't spill too many details, but the excitement was there. For now, the goal is just to finish strong. We already know there's a follow-up series coming called 2024, which kicks off right after Yellowstone ends. But from what Hauser's saying, it sounds like there might be a whole other show in the works, one that's just about Rip, and maybe Beth too. As for 2024, things are still kind of up in the air. Talks with Matthew McConaughey have been dragging on for months, and apparently the guy's asking for a serious paycheck. So even though 2024 might still happen, we don't think Sheridan's going to toss out the whole storyline and suddenly make it Rip's show. That one's probably more about the future of the Yellowstone land itself. But let's be honest, we want more than just land. We want drama and chaos. We want Rip with his fists up and maybe even a little romance, especially if Beth is still around. And if she's not, then maybe the show follows Rip dealing with the fallout, the grief, the trauma. Either way, we are definitely down for a Rip-only spinoff. The man deserves it. Now, the only reason we're not getting our hopes too high about Beth joining that spinoff is because of what Kelly Riley said in the past. She's never ruled anything out, but in her own words, she's laser-focused on finishing Yellowstone properly, with all the care and passion she's got. Beyond that, she says not to believe anything you read. And while we respect that, Hauser sounded a bit more optimistic. So clearly, there are conversations happening behind the scenes. Still, in some of her earlier interviews, Riley admitted she's not super eager to keep playing a character like Beth. As much as she respects the role, she said it's emotionally demanding and takes a lot out of her. And honestly, after years of being Beth, we get it. She's also talked about being scared of getting typecast. She's trying to branch out, do new things, and keep herself challenged. Looking at her in A Haunting in Venice or The Cursed, you can tell she's intentionally choosing parts that are nothing like Beth. So yeah, we're a little skeptical she'd want to step back into Beth's boots for a whole new series. But again, this is Hollywood, and when the money talks, never say never. Still, we're betting it's more likely we get a Rip-focused show without Beth than a Rip and Beth combo. Hauser's been super vocal about how much he loves playing Rip, and we doubt he'd ever turn Sheridan down unless the deal totally fell apart. If the money's right, he's in. What's consistent in both their interviews, though, is that they're locked in on finishing Yellowstone first. All this spin-off talk can wait. That's why we probably won't hear much more about the Rip, or possibly Rip and Beth series, until Yellowstone is properly done and dusted. Here's what really happened in Yellowstone's final episode. Yellowstone finally wrapped. Well, unless you ask Paramount, who's pretending it's just a season finale. But let's be honest, this was the end. The Duttons went all in to protect their land and legacy, and not everyone walked away from it. John was already out of the picture, buried earlier this season, so the chaos was left to the rest. Casey, being Casey, made a move that sounded sketchy at first, like, was it tax fraud? But no, it was actually kind of sweet. He offered Rainwater the Yellowstone ranch for $125 an acre, the same price it would have cost the Duttons way back. For Rainwater, that's pocket change. The deal? No condos, no development, just preservation. Casey kept a little piece for himself at East Camp, and someone mysteriously sabotaged the pipeline that night. So yeah, Rainwater had a great day. Meanwhile, Beth was doing things her way. She grabbed land for herself, Rip, and Carter, then joined Rip and the ranch hands to bury John, this time on tribal land. It was quiet, just close family and friends. Beth had her tearful moment, wondering if her dad would approve. No more cattle, sure, but no luxury resorts either. In her eyes, that's a win, and being Beth, she leaned over the coffin and whispered, "I will avenge you." Naturally. Jamie was off in his own world, rehearsing his big press conference, totally clueless that Beth was headed his way, knife in hand, boots on, ready for war. Rip tried to stop her, but she didn't listen. She stormed in, pepper spray flying, maybe with a tire iron. Who knows? Jamie lost it when he found out the ranch was gone. His tourism plans were toast, and he nearly strangled Beth before Rip jumped in. Beth didn't waste any time. She stabbed Jamie in the stomach, and Rip hauled him off to the train station, aka that shady Wyoming canyon where the Duttons make problems disappear. Beth told the cops Jamie attacked her and ran. His car was later found torched in Idaho. Convenient. And after all that, a Lainey Wilson concert by Abby herself, followed by a final walk through the ranch. Rip, Beth, and Casey wandered one last time. The Yellowstone sign came down, the furniture went out, and the reservation workers started wiping the Dutton name from the land. Just when you thought it was done, some kids tried knocking over gravestones in the Dutton family's definitely illegal cemetery until Mo showed up and shut it down. Side note, why were those gravestones so flimsy? The final voice was of Elsa Dutton closing it out, reminding us that the promise made back in 1883 had been fulfilled. The land was finally back where it belonged, protected, untouched, and tourist-free. And even though the finale hit a bittersweet note, the ratings went through the roof. Yellowstone shatters records in final season. Over 11 million people turned in for Life is a Promise, making it the biggest episode the show's ever had. Social media blew up, fan theories were flying, and Taylor Sheridan was probably laughing his way to the bank. And clearly, he's not done with the Dutton universe just yet, because right as Yellowstone wraps, more is already on the way. 1923 is coming back soon. Then there's The Madison. And while some are still holding out hope for a Yellowstone Season 6, it sounds like Paramount's betting big on these spin-offs instead, especially since the main show is stuck in a streaming deal with Peacock. Still, not everyone was thrilled. Some fans were seriously mad. They said the moment Kevin Costner walked away, so did the heart of the show. And for a lot of people, that's where the story ended. But behind the scenes, the team says otherwise. According to director and executive producer Christina Voros, the ending had always been in the cards, even before Costner bounced. His exit just forced them to reshuffle the pieces. Instead of John Dutton at the center, the spotlight shifted to Beth, Casey, and even Jamie. Voros even teased that if you go back and rewatch Yellowstone 1883 and 1923, the clues are all there. Little breadcrumbs about how it would all end. That being said, not every part of the ending landed perfectly. Beth had done everything she could to save the place, but between the taxes and the political enemies, the math just didn't work. John fought hard to keep that land pure, but in the end, it was his kids who had to make the impossible call. But then you've got Jamie. The guy's been one of the most complicated characters in the entire show, and yet by the end, he's barely even in it. It was disappointed, but at least we got closure. If you can call being stabbed and dumped at the train station closure. So yeah, Yellowstone didn't tie every thread into a neat little bow, but it stayed true to itself. And now it hands the torch over to Cole Hauser. Let us know in the comments what you think of Rip Wheeler spearheading the Yellowstone future, and make sure to subscribe for more.